Welcome back. School principals are under extreme stress and copping threats of physical violence like never before. A study by 2 Australian universities has revealed more than half of all school leaders were threatened last year by parents or students. The pandemic has added more pressure, but researchers believe coronavirus could also be the catalyst for changing the way people treat teaching staff. And for more, we're joined by Professor Phil Riley from Deakin University. Good morning, Professor. How could this pandemic improve the treatment of principals and teachers?
I think one of the nice things, if that is the right word, that's come out of this terrible tragedy is that there's a newfound respect for teachers. I think parents have realised the kind of work that goes into educating their children as they're trying to help deliver that in the home. And that sort of whole notion of resetting, I think, has hit the community quite hard as the virus has continued its terrible destruction. And I think that we don't necessarily have to go back to the way things were. There can be a resetting.
OK, let's hope parents hold on to these feelings of love for teachers as we emerge from this homeschooling cocoon. You've spent nearly a decade researching this issue. Why has there been such a dramatic increase in violence towards principals in the last couple of years?
Well, it's not just principals, of course. The violence is increasing across Australian society. You know, domestic violence is increasing, violence in hospitals amongst, nursing staff and ambulance, all the kind of frontline workers. This behaviour is increasing everywhere. And I think now is the moment to say no more. We need to really admit to ourselves as a country that we have had a problem, and the lockdown has given us all time to think, and that we can come back a different body of people.
It's extraordinary, I think, that parents would take their anger out on a teacher or a principal. I can't comprehend it, but it's obviously going on in great numbers out there, which is terrible for this country. Victoria, though, is the state reporting less violence and stress than any other. Why is that? What's going on in Victoria?
I think there's a few things going on. Partly the Victorian government probably went earliest in terms of addressing the issues. Other states and territories have followed. So, South Australia's done a little bit of work. Northern Territory has really done a lot of work in the last 12 months, and Queensland is beginning to do some work as well in this space. And in fact, the federal government is about to enter into this space in a serious way. So we are, as a country, beginning to admit that there is a fairly deep, ingrained issue, and it's playing out in schools, and we need to address it. And you can't solve a problem that you don't admit you've got.
Yep.
So we're now admitting it, I think, and then doing something about it. So I'm actually very positive about how this can play out.
Yeah.